Hey, beloved of God, welcome to this vlog. And we will start immediately. Of course, we will continue with our slides. And we are talking about the topic, let the scriptures speak about our system. And now we know that we're talking about the system we live in. So this was the slide we ended with. Let's see. Yes. So we already went through it, and of course we're talking about the motivation of those who devised our school education with regard to this system, right? This open system. And so we already mentioned if this place we live in is so insignificant in the vast universe, then it will have an effect on our self-image. In Dutch, we have a certain saying. I don't know what the English variant is. I wouldn't know, but it is a certain effect when you always feel small in comparison to other people or other institutions. So that will be the effect of on our self-image as well. The second thing has to do with the dangers that people are exposed to in their mind, in their imagination, if they hear and learn about all these things like stray meteorites, asteroids, just like that, and solar flares. Not to talk about solar flares, even worse. So let's continue, because we are still at this question, why open system at school? So if there are all kinds of dangers lurking that can wipe out humanity in one fell swoop, what is the consequence for humanity? How do we live our lives? Of course, in angst. Obviously. So it will be indeed even continuous fear. I hope you recognize that. So then the question becomes, what does fear do to people? First of all, it paralyzes clear thinking. Second of all, through fear, one thus makes wrong decisions. Also, man is much more irritable through fear. And I would say the most important one in this relative sense, fear considerably lowers trust in the Creator. I hope you see that. So this system gives an image of God that shuts him out, where he is far away at a very great distance from his creation. This is the image people get of God within this system. So I hope it's clear. This is it's very important to consider these things, because there is a motivation, and it comes from the ones who have devised our school education, and it happened on purpose. It happened on purpose. For your information, and I think most of you know that already by now, because I see that humanity is now in a phase of raised awareness, phase of awakening, I could say. And I see that humanity gets more and more aware of what's really happening in our system behind the scenes. So we know that, I would say, about virtually everything has been lied about. In school, in science, in college, in university, it doesn't matter. We were lied to about, I would say, practically everything, about food, about this system, about history, about geography, about consuming, about information in general that we consume. It is of course, about our medical professions, what is good for us, what is not good for us, etc., etc. We have been lied about terribly and very long already. So it's very important to be aware of this, because I'm going to go through some things in this study, but in future episodes that also address this and point some things out. So let's now go to a proposal of the system we live in. So our current system. Okay. First of all, it is a closed system, therefore safe. And within that system are electromagnetic energy flows within a certain, according to a certain pattern. The foundation of this system consists of deep columns. Therefore, this system is immovable. It is thoroughly founded. Immovable. On top of that foundation is a disk. Oh yes, you heard me correctly. A disk called the Earth realm or habitants. That's very often the concordant literal version, the translation in that version. It's habitants. I also call it Earth realm. So this disk, this Earth realm, consists of seas, all the seas, continents, islands, and rivers, obviously. The disk is bordered by a high and very thick wall of ice. So that is, of course, solid matter. And this one is very thick. It's very high, but also really thick. What do I mean by very thick? I'm talking about a distance, a thickness of that border of approximately 2,000, maybe 2,500 kilometers. I would say that is thick for you. So this is a thick wall of ice, and that ice doesn't melt. Over the disk and the wall is a dome. A dome made of shiny or glassy, translucent, self-recovering, very solid and strong material. Oh yes. And above the dome, there is water. The dome also functions to support the water above it so that the water doesn't fall, obviously. You can read about that in Genesis 1 verse 6, 7, but we will go there and we will read this passage. Okay, so we continue. The sun and the moon are both within the dome. They are within the dome. They are part of the system. They are each rotating at their own speed and via a route that varies per season. It varies by season. Not only that, the route they take not only varies by season, but also by height. So depending on the season, it also varies in height. The sun and moon are each separate luminaries with their own character, intended for day and night. They are separate and they have their own character. The stars, so let me just mention this first. So what do I mean by their own character? I mean that the sun has warm light. How do you say that? It emanates warm light, and the moon cool light. The moon is not a reflection of sunlight. The moon has its own light. However, the character of that light is totally different. It's cool. Okay, so the stars, the other luminaries, are placed in the dome or on the dome. So in the inside of the dome. As decoration, but also to signs and appointed times. As we can read in Genesis 1 verse 14. Under the disk, and that is the earth realm or habitants, obviously. Under the disk there is a vast depth of fresh water. That is the so-called submerged chaos. This is the translation used by the Concordant version, the submerged chaos. It's practically an abyss, and it's a hugely deep abyss. So there you have many times more water, sweet water, fresh water, than all the waters of the seas combined. By far, you cannot even compare it. So, having said that, it's also good to just take a look at some illustrations. So, this is the first one. So, here, so this is just, of course, an, how do you say that? A human-made specimen. You see here this system, our system. So the disc underneath here, the disc and the dome above the disc. So you will notice the sun and the moon over here. They don't have to be in opposite positions, because they have also their own speed of rotating. I didn't mention that, but now I did. So that is one. Also, if you look at the form, the shape rather, of these continents, you will recognize them, obviously, but you see that the shape is totally different compared to what we are used to and what we learned at school, right? Or in school. So this is South America, Middle America, North America, the USA here, and here Alaska. You see that then Russia is just near Alaska, but of course that's already the case in a sphere, right? In a sphere system. So you see here that Africa has a different shape also. It's like it's flattened a little bit. Also Australia. I think this is New Zealand. So here you see Europe, Russia, Eastern Europe, and Asia here, over here. So this is the Pacific. This is the Atlantic. This is the Indian Ocean. And this, the white here, that is the border of the system. So the walls are very high also. But also this thickness is approximately 2,500 kilometers. Maybe here it's 1,500 kilometers, not sure. But it can be 1,000 kilometers here, and here even 3,000 kilometers. So it is quite thick in that sense. This is called Antarctica, the white border. That's Antarctica. Here is called the North Pole or Arctica. So this is Greenland. So I hope you have an idea of this system already, because this was just a simple specimen, of course. This dome is also important because I like the shape of this dome. It's quite high. I think that's also reflecting the reality. But you see, the dome is here, it's transparent. I believe that the dome is transparent, but maybe it's translucent, so you can see through it, but not sharply. Not sure. Because from the ground up, you cannot see whether it is translucent or transparent. You see blue, which is maybe partly the color of the material, but also the water above it, right? The waters that are above it, that it supports. So let's look at the next one. This one is also a good one. This one. So here you see maybe more clearly without the dome. You see the borders here. So the thickness varies, of course, but believe me, it's very thick. And you see all the oceans and the continents here. You see Arctica here, and also Greenland. Let me see. Do I have? Yeah, this is Greenland also. So this is my proposal of our current system. So this is a disk. It's literally a disk. It's flat. However, these are high walls and very thick walls around it. And we will read about this in scripture, because scripture is, to me, quite clear about this system. But we will see that together as we are going through this study. Next one. The sun and the moon here, they are positioned how do you say that, opposite of each other, but it doesn't have to be like that. I will, in this study, I'm not sure when, I think in another episode, I will show a video where they are rotating. But here I will show you also already in a simplistic way how they rotate. But again, this is very simplistic. Let's see. Oh no, I cannot do it like this. Sorry, I have to switch slides first. Can you see it? No, not yet. Oh, I'm so sorry. Can you see this? I'm not sure. Let me stop it. Switch slides again. I'm so sorry. I'm not sure what is happening because I already did it in the Dutch version and it worked. So I'm going to try it once more just to be sure. Even if this episode is going to be longer than intended, let's try it one more time. It doesn't seem to work. Well, it works at my side. I can see it rotating, but I cannot see it in my application. That's a pity. Okay, well, I tried it. But we will see a video which hopefully will work. Hopefully it will work. Okay, so this is also how they are rotating clockwise, by the way. And the impact of the sun on what part of the earth realm is lighted up is even larger than this. It's larger. So this is again part of it. Also, I'm going to show you this one. But of course here the height of the dome is not too high. I think the dome is a lot more steep, like this. It's a lot higher. But this is also, it gives you an indication. You see stars here, constellations on the dome. The moon here, the sun here. Here it is drawn as if they are... No, I'm not going to mention that yet. That is for another episode. So this is just for you to have an impression. So we will stop here, and next time we will continue, and maybe then or the next episode we will show the video. I really hope it will work. In any case, thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.